Now, listen, you guys, today is the day that we do a deep dive of the celebrities that are speaking up against and for Nicki Minaj, because majority of the time we get lost into what these people are saying, that we do not pay attention to the fact that, well, are these people unbiased people who have loved her before, or are these the same continued haters that continue to spew hate over and over again, and that intend to recruit others into hating this woman? Because I mean, if it is somebody that used to love her that's coming out and saying, oh well, look, I used to love her, I used to appreciate her talent, but because she has supported this political party, I no longer support her, I guess we could pay attention to what they're saying. But if it is coming from people that have always had, some type of issues with her, what would make us believe that you're really not disliking her because of a political affiliation? What would make us believe that? Because logically, would we not be inclined into thinking that you've always disliked her? Now you're just using this opportunity as, your time to now publicly make your ill feelings against her known. So, one person who's been vocal since Nicki Minaj came out for the Trump account is none other than Ibro. And when I listen to Ibro talk, when I look at the way he tweets, disgusted is an understatement. There's a level of bias which, you still try to look humane. But I feel like his is just at a point where it's pathetic. He has the loudest voice when it comes to addressing women. But when it comes to men, he hardly ever has that smoke. And for such a grown old man, it's a weird behavior to have, in my own opinion, okay? I mean, really. I wish you could see my face right now. I'm disgusted. Ew. Actually, before I do get into the tweets, let me give you a little bit of history between Ibro and Nicki Minaj. Now, way before this H train that we all know, right when Nicki Minaj was still, dabbling into pop music and was really becoming successful at it, these two grown men sat down and celebrated what they believed to have been the end of Nicki Minaj. I am not making this up, I promise you. In fact, let me look for that snippet and let me insert it in this video. It and maybe talking a little bit and snipping it and things like that, just so you guys, it won't be taken down. And let me know in the comment section what you think about that.
But about 6 months ago, Rosenberg called Nicki Minaj out for making whack pop records.
Okay.
And Rosenberg, how many records is she selling now?
Right, you heard that, you guys. Listen to this. I want you to pay attention, okay?
SoundScan says that last week on Nicki's Black Friday release of her new version of the album, she sold 36,000.
No!
36,000. Got it.
Now, Rosenberg, that's all you. You put in work on her, son. You gotta own this one. You may have ended Nicki Minaj's career.
Well, just to play devil. Now, you heard that, you guys. You heard Ibro celebrating the end of what they thought was going to be, or what they thought at least was going to be the end of Nicki Minaj's career, okay? You heard them loud and clear. This is all coming from his mouth, okay? And they're celebrating. So when Nicki Minaj says that these people came together to try and end me, it will make more sense. Keep listening.
Advocate, it is a re-release of the old album with newer tracks, right?
It's 36,000.
How much did she sell last time?
Of the album?
Yes.
It's over gold. It's in the first week. She did what, 200,000 the first week or something like that?
And now she's down to 36 after you make your comments?
What is going on?
Rosenberg, you're gonna have to own this
I
shit.
did not end Nicki Minaj's career. I think she's gonna be all right. Did you bring up Nicki Minaj's career in the meeting? What, with the white people? Yeah. Yeah.
Did you hear him? He clearly said, did you bring up Nicki's career with the white tea people, okay? And honestly speaking, this is disgusting. This is very low. And so when I look at you guys making him seem like he's the advocate for hip-hop, when you make it seem like...
I don't want to say anything.
Well, that's racist, if you did, and you and the Whiteys teamed up on Nicki Minaj. Nicki, I'll help you. Hot 97 started your career.
Yes.
We'll dust you off again
Oh, God.
and bring you back to life. You just gotta listen to me. It's so...
Apparently, Ebro has...
Well, there you heard that, you guys. There you heard that. That was Peter Rosenberg and Ibro. And Ibro is the one who was asking and laughing and asking Peter if he had a conversation with them YT people about Nicki Minaj. And they were kind of celebrating her career getting ended and I guess her being blackballed in as far as being played on radio. So it is key to note that during this time, it was way before Nicki Minaj ever got together with Kenneth Petty. In case they want to use that excuse as to why they dislike Nicki Minaj. That was way before Nicki Minaj was even, public about who she supports politically. This all happened before Nicki had ever done anything that they now use as an excuse to say this is why we do not like her. But do you want to know one thing that hasn't changed about Nicki Minaj? Which I do believe is the root cause of all the problems that she has with all of these people. She has always been cocky. She has always been unapologetically herself. She has always spoken out to defend herself. She has never been the one to be silenced. She has been herself. She has always had audacity. And I do believe that it is that audacity that wakes up insecurities in people, especially men that that are insecure within themselves. Because you cannot tell me that two grown men would be laughing, mumbling, and cackling over ending a woman's career. For what reason exactly? They do not. They didn't have a reason for that. And it is also to note that even after this segment, where Ibro was clearly laughing and giggling with Peter about ending Nicki's career, Nicki still sat down and had an interview with Ibro on Apple. That's how much forgiving this woman is. Still sat down with the same Ibro, gave him an interview. And this is the same Ibro today that we're supposed to take seriously when she addresses anything about Nicki Minaj. They hated her before she got married to Kenneth Petty. They hated her before she even, voiced out her political, affiliations. They hated her before all of that. And that's something we have to keep in mind, that whatever excuse they are coming up right now as to that's the reason why we don't like her, that's just an excuse. Because after that, this is what Ibro said. He said, "Dem turned her into a MAGA mascot. Hope she gets what she's working for." And then he went further and responded to a picture with Nicki Minaj and Trump and said, "Look at Massa giggling in the back." This is all in one day. And then he went further to laugh when the one governor used Cardi B's picture in response or as shade towards Nicki Minaj. And then he said, "Blah, ha, ha, ha." That's a grown man, by the way. And he also went further to respond to someone who had called him out. He said, "You ninja, you do not have this energy for the men that back him. This is why you're jobless now. Continue sucking the tide of swindlers." And he said, "I do." And men like Ibro disgust me. Men with no principle disgust me. Men with no shame disgust me. And it's ridiculous to see people falling behind him. Looking at the history and how he's always felt about this woman, we're somehow supposed to take them seriously. We're somehow supposed to believe that the reason why they don't like her is because she's gone to look for protection from the other side. Anyway, his friend Peter Rosenberg had this to say also. He said, first of all, Lil Kim could never. You see what they do to these female rappers. They only bring them up when it's time to try and humble Nicki Minaj. They only mention them when it's time to say, "Look, we have other people." And then he also said, tagging Advovo BBL, actually, he said, "At Advovo BBL would never." Okay? And then he went ahead and said, "Man, Queens is down bad," quoting a picture from Nicki Minaj and Trump. And when Nicki Minaj posted that gold cut picture and said, he said, "Well, exactly. Well, a legacy in the garbage can." And I'm like, Peter Rosenberg, how many times are you going to say a legacy is in the garbage can? Because 10 years ago, you were already saying that a legacy is in the garbage can. 10 years ago, you were celebrating what you thought was the end of Nicki Minaj. So what legacy are you talking about? If her career ended 10 years ago, what legacy are you referring to? And for me, what's funny is how these people try to come off as concerned. Somehow they feel like if they say it in the air, it's just going to magically happen. If they say that her legacy is destroyed, all of a sudden it's just going to be destroyed. That's not how life works. Dadenbeg. Life doesn't work like that. It's the fake sympathy and fake concern. If she tarnishes a legacy, what is it to you? I mean, I'm assuming as somebody who doesn't like her, that would call for celebration. Why do you care if she decides to ruin a legacy? Given that you were celebrating and playing your radio sounds when you thought you ended her. Were you not getting applauded by Ibro, saying that you might have single-handedly ended Nicki Minaj's career? So which legacy has she destroyed if you destroyed the legacy back then when you spoke to the YT people about her and her career? That's the thing. If at least they want to run these smear campaigns, they should look for people that have publicly supported Nicki Minaj, not known haters. At least for the propaganda to make sense, pick somebody who doesn't have a vendetta. Pick somebody who hasn't been known to be a number one Nicki Minaj hater. When you pick Rosenberg and Ibro to do your dirty work, you end up looking like clowns. Damn, do we have to teach you everything? Now we have to teach you how to run narratives, how to run propaganda, and how to hate properly. Do you understand how much of work you're giving us? We have to teach you how to hate correctly now? Without making it obvious? Without making yourselves look like fools? We have to teach you hating. How to hate properly. If you're gonna send people to come for Nicki Minaj, send those that haven't been coming to for her unprovoked. Once you sent Ibro and Peter Rosenberg, we cannot see past that 2010 or whatever 10 years ago interview where they were celebrating her demise. And then he also, Rosenberg also went ahead and said, "There's so much to talk about today." Yeah, he said, "Lots to talk about today," with some exclamation marks. Excited. Since they got fired, they are looking for things to talk about. Nicki is their content. The way he's excited and putting exclamation marks is pathetic. And for that to be done by old men like these, I'm like, what are you teaching the younger generation? What are you teaching us, Ibro? Anyway, let's move on to, speaker number 3. Claudia Jordan. Now, with Claudia, I don't even know if this section should be longer because you couldn't pick somebody better to come and deliver that. Because Claudia is one of those people who are fighting to be seen, who are fighting for relevance constantly. And each time they think they're going to be, find a way to speak so the people can notice them, they're going to utilize that opportunity. Oh, Nicki did something. The people seem to not like what she did. What am I going to do to get noticed? Let me be the loudmouth. So when it comes to Claudia, honestly, I'm like, girl, be gone. I don't have anything to say. She's just one person who's seeking relevance, eh? And I don't think that Nicki is ever paying her any form of attention. Now, another person that allegedly had something to say, subtly or indirectly, is Kelly Rowland. Allegedly, she was out there liking shady posts about Nicki Minaj. Mind you, this is not the first time that Kelly has allegedly been shady towards Nicki Minaj. Now, I do not know what her issue with the woman is. I don't know if this is her coming and stepping up on behalf of Jay-Z, since the title swindler does not see eye to eye with Nicki Minaj. I hope that's not the reason. I hope she has her own personal reasons for not liking her, because if she's not liking her because of what she says about the title swindler, then she might not be as smart as we might have assumed. Because even the title swindler's wife does not even make it obvious that she's siding with the husband. Beyonce herself is not even coming through defending her husband on anything. And in you come, thinking that you would be the right tool to defend this man. Now, what happens when more is revealed about him? If there is more dirt on him, what's going to happen now? Are you going to stand on that? Even his actual sister-in-law, Solange, is not out there defending him. But here you are, hotspotting hate on behalf of him. For what? Huh? Just because some people are comfortable being blackballed, being put in shadows of other people, being shelved so that others can, shine brighter, doesn't mean that everyone has to. Just because you bow down to your master doesn't mean that everybody has to bow down to your master. And this is what people don't understand. She's not obligated to bow down to this man. And if you and your family decide to do that, that's on you. You cannot expect everybody to bow down to him. He's not God. He isn't. No matter how many times he changes his name, he's not. Anyway, the next person that we're going to talk about that seems to have something to say is Linda Perry. Linda Perry is the girl from that band. What's going on? I think she's had 12 Spotify listeners or something. She was able to get to about 30,000 listeners after, of course, that mashup with Nicki Minaj. So they saw her when the mashup came and people were doing the Bees in the Trap challenge. She was out there begging and wanting to do the challenge with Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj paid her dust. Yeah, she ignored her. She ignored the lady. And I do now, I'm beginning to think, is this girl a seer or something? Because it's like the people that she refuses to mess with at some point, they just turn out to be the snakes, I don't know. For some reason, it's like when she denies to link up with somebody, or maybe they turn into naysayers after she refuses to link up with them. Because this woman was asked if she's ever gonna work with Nicki Minaj, if she is ever gonna collaborate or do the challenge with Nicki Minaj, and she said never. And I'm just like, man, were you not the one who was out there saying it would be cool to link up with her? Why are you making it seem like it's Nicki who wants to link up with you? She declined. She wasn't interested. So, irrelevant. Let's move on to the next person that we're going to be talking about. Let's talk about Jimmy Kimmel, okay? This man was out there on national television basically saying that, he would be behind Advovo BBL throwing things at Nicki Minaj, because Nicki Minaj said he supported the current administration. And if that's not sick, I don't know what is. This is a Democrat, by the way. And the Democrats are supposed to be these good people. And this is a YT man, actually, laughing and being excited about a black woman being V-worded. and saying that they would co-sign that happening. And somehow some of you are looking at that and are like, yes, how dare she support the political party she wants? She's supposed to support a certain political party regardless of how they treat her. Are you guys not making that political party an idol? Are you not going against what that party claims to represent? Because I don't see anything democratic or inspirational about a white man on national television co-signing that a black woman should be A-worded or V-worded, and she deserves it because she supports a certain political party. What part about that makes sense to you? What? Is that not sickening? I'm just disgusted, honestly. I'm just disgusted. And some irrelevant people like the likes of Lord of I'm just like, your morals by themselves are already questionable. Like, I'm not even going to pay attention to that. Now, those are some of the dads that had a couple of things to say. And there's this Billy Potter, obviously, we spoke about him earlier on, and he's already managed to embarrass himself. Nicki didn't have to lift a finger or do anything. He has managed to embarrass himself with that Mariah Carey tribute. So there's that. However, some people are also actually coming out supporting Nicki Minaj. Tokyo Tony is supporting Nicki Minaj. I'm going to insert a video of her supporting her. And Deb Anthony is standing with Nicki Minaj. Waka is standing with Nicki Minaj. I also saw Foxy Brown sadly looking like she's supporting her. But with Foxy Brown, you never know, hey? She moves too shady for my liking. I don't know what to think of any of her comments because you cannot tell if she's coming or going. You really can't tell. And then, what's this name? Blueface's mama also came through with a little video, basically supporting Nicki Minaj, Akbar V as usual, Super Peach as usual, and the Republicans have kind of been welcoming her. And at this point, honestly, I don't blame her if she wants to go on the other side, because is it not just common sense to go where you're loved and respected? I mean, everybody would do that if anybody were to be treated as horribly as she has been with the Democrats. I mean. But anyway, you guys, so this is the list of the people, that had something to say about Nicki Minaj. Also, it is to note that all this outrage is only directed at her, but there's several other entertainers that have openly come out and shown that they do support this man. So many corporates, actually, that are Republican, that people are still, supporting. They are saying all of this. They're on X, a platform that is literally owned by the most ridiculous Republican I know. Elon. Is insane. I mean, and you guys are typing on that platform. Michael Dell was there, and you're literally using a Dell laptop right now. And you, this thing of people picking on who they think is the weaker target to let out all their frustrations about their lives is really lame and insane, in my own opinion. It's weak people that do ish like that. But anyway, let me not lengthen this video. I will insert, of course, the videos that I promised you. But that being said, thank you very much, you guys, for watching, and happy new month. I trust you guys are doing well. Until my next one, see you.
That y'all don't like. Y'all want to have a problem. Y'all gonna leave Nicki Minaj alone. Y'all be on this talking about, let a woman have her